My flawed recollection of what old Disney princess songs sound like is going to be similar to everyone else's recollection of what Disney songs sound like. The Disney sound is maximum color.
Ups and downs.
Literal up and down. Big Disney move to really on the nose as illustrated lyric like that. We're just ending on this powerful note for Dottie that she really means business. She's going to break out of this and it's going to be imperfect. It's going to come with weird atonal polychords, musically, but she's going to suck it up and deal with that because she wants, autonomy.
So I'll live perfectly, hopelessly, flawlessly, and mostly truly emphatic, less melodramatically, ups and downs, smiles and frowns, imperfectly, ever after.
I'm Gavin McMahon. Today I'm breaking down my orchestration of Perfectly Ever After from Derek Davis's Hunky Dory. The show in a nutshell is this perfect town, but they're like, it's like fake perfect. This is kind of the I want song of the show, as Dottie's saying, I don't want the fake perfect, picture perfect thing anymore. I want something real, as messy and as painful as that might be. I want something real. It's comedically sincere, but there is some actual sincerity to that as well that we discover later on in the show, where it's like, oh, actually, wait, why am I crying during the show? This is kind of real, isn't it? It has to make every listener think of Disney princesses, the MGM movie musicals, kind of a similar aesthetic where it's really not holding back at all. So there's woodwind runs and ornaments everywhere, string runs, everything is harmonized, really thick sounds, harp glisses and bells and glockenspiels and so much color. So in the orchestra, you get color by shifting through these different families we have. You got clarinets play something, but then the strings play something, then the strings play pizzicato, and then the horns play something, and then xylophone plays something. Here's the vocal melody, and you can see the vocal melody is being outlined, but it's shifting. First pizzicato strings play it, and then just 2 beats later clarinets play it, but harmonized. Then celeste plays it, then horns play it, and then flutes play it, harmonized, and then violins play it. So sometimes it's totally doubling the melody, sometimes it's playing an ornamental version of it. The main accompaniment in the harpsichord, but all the decoration of the melody is just running through all these different colors. Flute trill is like the thing, like definitively Disney and Princess. Those orchestrations of those songs and those 40s, 50s Disney songs are just unbelievable. It's kind of standing on Alan Menken's shoulders and also standing on all the composers from the older movies and songwriters from Harold Arlen to the Sherman Brothers, going back to Pinocchio and Snow White and these old Disney movies and kind of poking fun at some of those things. And also really celebrating this style. Sounds like an Alan Menken ballad in the funniest way with this solo oboe on this line. These trombones here doing these sort of suspensions. This is such an Alan Menken thing. But it does it in a way that is really just kind of light and funny, So I kind of feel more like I'm trying to do what Alan Menken would do in the situation, not so much go one step further than Alan Menken. Derek writes the songs a cappella. So then he'll come to the studio and he will sing the song for me a cappella, and I will start to transcribe it on piano. Usually together we'll spend an hour where I will come up with the accompaniment of the song. Like, what is the melody implying? Because the melody will imply the accompaniment and the harmony choices. Once he's gone, that's when I will start to meticulously make the PV, the piano vocal. Here, I will really lock in the harmony choices, spend a lot of time finessing this color versus that color, this texture versus that texture. Sometimes the piano part isn't really playable. It's like a 3 or 4 hand piano part, so I'm trying to get, there's certain gestures I might be thinking, there's this woodwind gesture that I know I want to have happen. So in the piano vocal, like just an extra piano kind of appears out of nowhere and plays this. I'll spend a couple days on that. And this is really helpful because that will communicate basically the entirety of the song, texture-wise and figure-wise, even though it's just on the piano. Then I go about orchestrating, and The way I orchestrate for the most part is using what I call short score. So I have 4 or 5 staves of music that have the whole orchestration. So I have my short score here. You can see all of these parts in here. I'll play the second verse on just the piano vocal.
So a perfect word to a perfect song, a perfect pitch as I sing along. Watch me bark and bark just because I have to.
Then the orchestration.
So with perfect words to a perfect song, I'll have perfect pitch as I sing along. Watch me bark and bark just because I have to.
I spend a lot of time just orchestrating in this format and figuring it all out. In the beginning, Dottie is like, sometimes I wonder, lots of qualifiers. And so we have this gentle harp that's doubled with Rhodes to get a little bit more of a modern sound, and just some light kind of bell tone percussion and woodwind. So it's a really light sound, giving her room to just say how she's feeling. Big switch right in that transition, right? We get into this power. So she starts to step into some energy here. We do that largely with the percussion coming in with this snare drum. Timpani, almost like a march feel. French horns start to play a little more of a heroic kind of thing. My favorite part about this song is that it's all harpsichord. The way the harpsichord is playing too just really communicates this. You'll have to watch the video if you're somehow listening to just audio. You have to watch me doing this because that's the only way to describe what is going on. You know, those kind of more ornamental color parts of the orchestration there, sometimes they're counterpoint, so sometimes they're additional lines, and sometimes they're the melody. So sometimes it's reinforcing what Dottie's saying, sometimes it's other ideas floating around what Dottie is saying. You can hear how they're kind of shadowing that melody.
Perfectly ever after. We'll have perfect kids with a perfect life. It's a perfect chance for a perfect wife. So I'll let it ring to the perfect rafters. Perfectly ever after.
Big romantic sweeping arpeggios and piano and harp. Flute and string run, this harp glyphs here. The harmony gets into all this weird, kind of dissonant, polychord-based, wacky stuff.
It's portraying to be.
And then it's back, oh, but maybe I should just be perfect. At the end of the song, she's like, forget it, I'm gonna go and do my own thing. So she's got this mouthful that she's about to lay on us in this big build.
So I'll live perfectly, hopelessly, flawlessly, and mostly truly emphatic, less melodramatic.
She's like, I could get out of here, I could be dirty, I could have a life that's meaningful. So we have the brass playing some of this fanfare, so we have this determined heroine situation, painting the word imperfectly. The harmony is this weird polychords. Then we go on to take the melody while she sustains a note in this kind of martial power way.
Imperfectly ever after.
Subtle nod to the imperfect thing on the very last couple chords again, and more polychord. The orchestration in the song in general, from start to finish, is very like prissy and very silly and funny. By the end of the show, we get to a pretty sincere thing where Dottie has to talk to her grandma and be like, I have to leave our world for my sake. I can't put up with this fake thing. And there, you know, you can see so many metaphors in that and generational cultural differences.